decide to step up to this kind of power, this kind of challenge, this kind of flying, crashing feeling? When you decide to get serious, there's only one place to come. The games of Super Nintendo. No one else creates this kind of experience, because no one else creates these kinds of games. Now you're playing with power, superpower.
Hello, world, and welcome to the Cartridge Club, where we discuss our game of the month with members of the Cartridge Club community. I am your host, Curtis Freisel, and I'm back for another March Madness, which, of course, we shake things up here on the Cartridge Club. We don't just focus on one game. We might focus on a series of games, a console, whatever I want to talk about, because it's my show this month. This month. I've always wanted to do this. I don't know why I've never done this yet, because this is like my favorite system to talk about. But we're finally talking about the Super Nintendo, the Snes. It's the 35th anniversary this year. I thought, what better time? Like, we might as well just get it out of the way, right? Let's talk about the Super Nintendo.
Let's do it.
So I have assembled quite a panel here to talk about Super Nintendo games today. We got Captain Algebra to my, what is this? I guess this is my right, my left? No, my right. I hope it looks like that on screen. I don't know. Yes. And then down below, we got Snes is Life. Thank you guys so much for being here.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Of course. Before we start, I just want to give a special shout out to our Patreon supporters. If you want to join us on Patreon, we would love you so much. And we're going to give you special thanks, like we do at the beginning of all shows, to some of our Patreon supporters, such as Joel Boyce and Buried on Mars. Thank you guys so much. You can look up Cartridge Club on Patreon if you want to join in on the fun and give us all your money. So thank you for that. If you played along, you can always share your own experiences in our community's Discord or across social media by using the hashtag Cartridge Club. Do people still use CC Unite? We used to put that on everything.
I think sometimes, but I don't see it as often as we used to.
We're bringing it back. Use CC
Let's
Unite as well. Hashtag CC Unite. That was a good one. And I think that's all for the preamble. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, great. It's all done. Let's talk about Super Nintendo.
Yeah, let's do it.
We did this thing last year, right? Where we did the NES last year. And I wanted to do like a series of top 5 lists. And I think we all had a lot of fun. Captain Algebra, you were there.
I was.
And I kind of wanted to just run that back and do it again because that was so much fun. So that's what we're gonna do today. We're gonna do some top 5s. But before we get into our first top 5, I'd just like to go through our history of Super Nintendo, where we first encountered it and our feelings and what it means to us and all that jazz. I'll go first just so that I can stop talking and throw it over to you guys. I remember getting Super Nintendo for Christmas. I wish I could remember the year. It was probably like 92, 93. It was the first video game system I ever got. We had an NES, but this was like the first one that was like for me, right? Me and my brother. And I'll never forget, it was the set that came with Super Mario World. I was so pumped. Couldn't have been more excited. We opened it, and the way we did Christmas in my family is like we would open gifts at home, and then we would go to my grandparents' house on Christmas Day. And that particular Christmas, I was like staying the whole weekend at my grandparents'. So we opened gifts. I found out I got a Super Nintendo, and then I had to leave it at home and go to my grandparents for the whole weekend.
Oh, it's terrible.
And I remember at the time, my parents were divorced, but my mom's boyfriend at the time, I remember I came home from the weekend. I'm like, it's finally time to play Mario. And he had already opened it, and he started playing it. And I remember the level he got to. So, you know, in Super Mario World, the underground level that you get the green switch palace.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
He got up to that point and saved it. And I remember turning on the game and like, what have you done? You played it already. This is my gift.
Yeah.
And I was so mad. And that memory just like sticks with me. But then, of course, you know, whatever. Got past it. Played Super Mario World. One of the greatest games ever. And we were off to the races as far as the Super Nintendo was concerned. So I'm going to throw it over to Cap. What about you?
Yeah, I don't remember exactly when we got it. So I'm assuming we got it around launch time. So it came out in 91 in the United States, right? So I'm assuming 91, 92, because I was born in 88. So I'd have been 3, 4, maybe 5 years old when we got it, which is why I can't remember it. So it was probably my brother's because he had an NES, he had a Genesis, he had a Super Nintendo, and those were basically his, and we just kind of shared them. And I just remember being blown away by the graphics and the sound because I'd been playing NES, which I love the NES. It's fun, but it was such a big step up from the NES to the SNES. And I remember loving Super Mario World. My neighbor across the street had Turtles in Time, and I loved playing Turtles in Time because we had Hyperstone Heist on the Genesis. We didn't have Turtles in Time. So it was so much fun to go over there and play that one over there. And, the Donkey Kong Country games were amazing. They're one of my favorite series on the SNES. And I fell in love with the console, and to this day, it's still my favorite console of all time. I know I still got that Genesis over my shoulder back there, and I am going for a complete Sega Genesis collection, but the Super Nintendo is still my favorite.
Love it. What about you, Joe?
Yeah, so we got it in 91. My brother was 15. So our dad worked for the newspaper, so my brother's a paper boy. I became a paper boy. So my brother actually had money. He bought it himself. But luckily, he was 15, so he was about to get his license and, start going out and hanging out with his friends and girls, which means he bought it, but I played it. Nice. It just basically became sort of mine, which was awesome for, I was 11 at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, Super Mario World, all those original ones, Link to the Past, SimCity, oh my God, Pilot Wings. We played Pilot Wings until our hands were sore, man. We were awful at it, but it was like they were just before that. The NES had great games, but the Super Nintendo brought in that faux 3D-ish ability. Like Pilot Wings was just amazing, and it
Right.
blew all of our minds.
Yeah. So good. And your handle is Snes is life. So it really did make an impression on you, huh? Is that your number one?
Yeah, for sure. It's it's the thing that I've owned the most of over the years. It's certainly the thing I play the most of. I'm almost done with my whole Twitch thing, so
yeah,
getting there.
Yeah, I should also mention too. I have a full retail set of Super Nintendo. I collected them all.
That's insanity.
It took me. I'll see if I can throw up some pictures. It took me 8 years, I believe. I started in 2011. That was when I got my childhood stuff from my parents, and then I finished in 2019, right before COVID, right before the prices really spiked, which was great.
So that was perfect timing for you.
North American set or full set?
North American set. North American.
So
720.
720. Yeah.
So how many did you start with? Like you said, you got your childhood, and that's how it started. Like how many games did you have then?
That's a good question. Probably in the 20 to 25 range. I had a pretty good set. I had it's funny because when I was a kid, we had probably 10 to 13 when it petered out and we went on to the next system. But then one of my friends gave me his whole collection, which was another 10, 12, whatever game. So we bumped it up and I had a pretty nice little set growing up. I remember I sold my Super Mario World and my Donkey Kong Country to my friend for $10, $5 a piece. And I totally regretted that.
Mm-hmm.
For sure. I'm jealous. We only owned, I think, maybe 5 games. We were almost a pure rental family.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We had a video store just around the corner from my house. So
yeah.
One of my favorite games that I own to this day, speaking of rental, is Mega Man X. That's my favorite game of all time. My absolute number one. And I used to rent it all the time from our local video store, which is called Mr. Movies. Did you guys have Mr. Movies? You guys are in the Midwest.
No.
Okay.
Family video here.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah. But so when Mr. Movies was getting rid of their Super Nintendo inventory, I bought Mega Man X, and I still have it. It's got the sticker on it. I even got the rental box. So that means a lot to me. If I got rid of all my Super Nintendo games, I would keep that one. But yeah, my rule for collecting the whole set was I couldn't do it online at all. It had to be all in store or at conventions.
That's fun.
Nice. Yeah.
Which was difficult, or through friends or whatever, Right.
Yeah, that's basically what I've been doing for the Genesis collection.
Yeah. The hunt is the fun.
Yep. Of course. Thrill of the hunt.
eBay, it's great to get what you want, but it's not the same.
Right.
No. No, it's too, yeah, there's just there's you're not even making memories when you do it on eBay. Like I have so many specific memories of like where I was when I got this game, or like the deal I got, I caught this person slipping. Like are you familiar with the game Hurricanes?
No.
So, no, yeah, I am.
It's based on like a cartoon show from the 90s, super obscure. That game is like a $300 game now, right? And I remember when it was first starting to go up, I found it at a store, and it was like $30, and I snagged it because I still needed it. And literally, like the next time I went in, they had another one or whatever, and it was like 300.
Wow,
nice.
Now, did you work at a game store at that point? I know you work there now, right?
Yeah. Well, I started with them in 2015 or 2016, so maybe it was like right in the middle.
Got it. So I'm assuming, did you get like a discount from your store?
Of course.
Okay, yeah, that helps. So I work at a store now that just opened up in July.
Yeah,
it's like just a side job because I'm a teacher most of the year, and that's been huge. I mean, obviously they haven't gotten a lot of Genesis stuff in, but every time they do, it's nice to use my discount. So I'm really hoping Musha comes in because that's the big heavy hitter I still need for the Genesis. So I mean, if I can get 25% off, that is a huge help.
Oh, totally. Yeah. For anybody that doesn't know, I run the world famous World 8 video game store in downtown Los Angeles and Little Tokyo. We have two locations, one in Koreatown, one in Little Tokyo. I run the Little Tokyo store. And we get first dibs on everything. And so for my SNES collection, I have been over the years. Now I've been doing like label upgrades and stuff.
Yeah, that's
which is great for that. But yeah, a lot of fun. Oh man, this is going to be such a good show. All right, let's start a top 5. I'm thinking to decide who goes first. Let's do odds and evens. Hold up a 1 or a 2. The odd man out will go first. Sound good?
Sure.
Unless we all put the same one, then we'll have to do it again. All right. Ready? 1, 2, 3, go. All right, Algebra, you're up.
All right. So for my category, I went with just the top 5 games I wish I had in my childhood. So we had, I'd say 15 to 20 games growing up, but we didn't rent a lot of stuff. Like I remember going to Blockbuster occasionally. And then when we moved to northern Wisconsin, there was like a Triggs was the grocery store. And so there was like a Triggs rental store that you could get video games from. And I remember doing that occasionally, but it was mostly just my mom kind of goes crazy on Christmas. So she would buy us tons of gifts or for our birthdays. And that's where we got a lot of our video games. And but those were the games that I played my whole life. And so I wanted to go stuff that since I started collecting about 10-ish years ago, things that I have picked up and really enjoyed that maybe I didn't even know existed when I was a kid. And so for my number 5, I went with Batman Returns, which is a fantastic beat 'em up by Konami. I was a huge beat 'em up fan as a kid. In fact, I mean, I played the Hyperstone Heist, Turtles in Time, Streets of Rage 2. In fact, Streets of Rage 2 is my favorite game of all time. And I would have loved having Batman Returns as a kid. It's a very satisfying game. The sound effects are perfect. It makes you sound like you're really beating the people up. The soundtrack is amazing. It's straight out of the movie. I had a blast when I streamed this a few years ago. I enjoyed it so much that I went through every single difficulty setting because you get a different ending for each one. It's just a blast. Yeah, I love that one.
And I'm gonna pipe in. So you didn't own that one,
no?
As a kid, I had that one, and you are
nice.
right. It's so one of the best beat 'em ups on the Super Nintendo. The thing that holds that one back is that it doesn't have multiplayer. Like it's only single player.
Right.
I had no idea about the different endings thing. I don't think I've ever beaten the game. I have played that game
it's
7
tough.
billion times. It's so hard. Like by the time you get to Penguin, because I think you fight Penguin like twice.
You fight, I think so. 'Cause you fight him in his duck, and then you fight him kind of one-on-one where he's like flying around in his umbrella.
I can get to the flying around with the umbrella, but I don't think I've ever beat him at that one.
Yeah, I've never beat that. It's too damn hard.
Yeah, that's one where it took multiple, times to learn the patterns and really know how to attack. Because like at first, when I first started playing it, I think Catwoman really was tough for me.
Oh yeah,
she kicked the crap out of you.
Yeah, exactly.
Is that in the sewer that you first fight her?
I can't remember. It's been at least 3-4 years.
It was on a roof,
or maybe it was on a roof. Yeah, you might be right.
But yeah, she'll whip the hell out of you.
Exactly.
Like,
so it was just
on?
repetition of just I played it over and over again, and streaming it, and then I got so good on like the easy difficulty setting that bumping it up the next difficulty setting wasn't a big deal, just because I knew what to do, and I just kept going just so I could get that best ending.
What are the different endings?
It just gives you like a different screen of like Batman saying different things.
Okay.
Like I said, it's been at least 3-4 years since I actually streamed it, so I don't remember what the best ending was. But yeah, it's just a little bit different. I think I might be confusing this with the Batman Returns on the NES, but the penguins might mock you if you don't play in the hardest difficulty setting. I can't remember. That might be the NES game where they will if you take too many continues or whatever, they'll mention like, oh, you didn't play very well, you should probably try harder.
Oh,
yeah, it's pretty funny. Yeah.
All right.
So, yeah, that's my number 5. My number 4 is a classic series that started on the NES. And I didn't even own a single one of these on the NES as a kid. And so I went with Super Castlevania 4. This is my absolute favorite Castlevania game. Now, I do usually separate the linear kind of platformer Castlevanias from the Metroidvania Castlevanias because they're so different in style.
Very.
So when it comes to the the 2D side scroller non Metroidvanias, this is definitely my favorite. And I remember it was probably 9-10 years ago. I bought it pretty early on when I started getting collecting, and I had started like my YouTube channel, and I had a Facebook page. I just throw it up. It was a Friday night. I'm like, hey, this is what I'm playing this weekend. And my buddy Nefarious West commented, he's like, oh, this game's amazing. The soundtrack's awesome. So I was really excited because I think at that point I hadn't actually beaten a single Castlevania game. Like I had played one, but I don't think I had finished it. And I did not play 2 or 3. So I put this in one night and I just kind of grinded my way through it and beat it. And it is so much fun. I love how you can whip in all the different directions. I like how you can hold the attack button and you can kind of just like whip it all over the place. It gives good strategy to fighting certain bosses. And yeah, I was just amazed by this game. Again, it's another Konami game because Konami was amazing back in the 16-bit era. But yeah, to this day, and it might be because it was the first game I beat in the series, but yeah, it's easily my favorite Castlevania game.
The wiggle whip is where you just hold it and it just dangles there and you can like swing it around in a circle. That is such a clutch move.
You've oddly enough picked another game I've never beaten, but there's no reason
unlimited continues. So you just got to kind of power your way through it.
You just got to get good. I keep meaning to go back to this one. Admittedly, I'm not a huge Castlevania fan. Especially the older style, the platforming. I do like Super Castlevania 4 though. I'm not a big fan of the NES ones. But yeah, I do need to go to this one. I got up to, I did play it. I remember because there's some cool like mode 7 and levels and stuff. I got to, maybe it was that one that like turns around.
You have to like hang there.
Yeah.
Yeah. That and then there's the one where you're in the tunnel and it's a barrel rolling. And
whichever one is
coming through the ceiling
is the one I got to.
Yeah, I want to say the rotating room is after the barrel room.
Okay. Yeah.
I think if I remember correctly.
I don't remember, honestly.
Yeah, it's great. I tend to play that one a little bit more, a lot more often than the Batman Returns. I try to play it like every year, maybe every other year. Just a quick little playthrough because it's fun. But just make sure when you do play it, Curtis, right before Dracula, there's a secret to get 99 hearts and then your 3 power up for the cross that you throw, that boomerang. I don't know if you knew about that, but there's like invisible stairs that you can jump onto, and then you go in the corner and everything falls on you. And then you just have to make sure you don't fall in the hole. But then
right before the stairs up, you like walk off to the left.
Yep. But you have to jump because if you walk off, you fall.
Then you die.
Yep.
And say you die fighting Dracula, can you do this over and over every time?
Yep. Yeah. It always starts you at the stairs.
Love it. See, that's good game design when they give you little things like that.
Yeah, but fantastic game. Really got me into the Castlevania series. Nice. All right, the next game was a game that was requested for me to play by Midlife Crisis Media, fellow Cartridge Clubber. He's now, or he used to be known as the Old Ass Retro Gamer, but this is his favorite game of all time. And he asked me to stream it, and I fell in love with it, and that is ActRaiser.
Oh, yes.
So this game is really cool. I didn't know about it as a kid. And when I first got into collecting, I watched like Metal Jesus Rocks all the time to look like hidden gems videos. So I'm like, where should I start? What game should I go for? And he had his buying guides and all sorts of stuff. And I remember him talking about this game, and I was unsure of it because of the sim part. You know, you've got your platforming, regular type of levels, but then you have the building the towns, which I was like, I don't know if I'll be into that because I'm not into any of that style of game. But Chris requested me to play this, and I streamed it, and I fell in love immediately. The sim building is the best part of the game. Like the platforming's fine. It's nothing special. But the sim building isn't super difficult to figure out. You know, you kind of choose where you want to build, and then it just builds it for you. And then depending on how many people you have in each level, it affects your HP. So there is a certain way to get max HP, because I think you can only have a certain amount of like bridges per town that prevents like houses from being built. And obviously more houses, more people, that leads to HP. But this game was so much fun. The music is amazing. It's one of the best soundtracks on the SNES. In fact, when Curtis first asked me to do this podcast, I was originally going to do the top 5 soundtracks on the Super Nintendo, which would have been fun. But then I was like, I don't know. There's too many to pick from. So that's why I changed my mind. But yeah, I streamed ActRaiser, played through it, loved it. Then when the Cartridge Club did it, I played through it again because I was on that podcast because Chris was hosting that one. And yeah, it's an amazing game. If you haven't played it, it's a must play for the Super Nintendo.
I agree. That game is an unsung gem, man. I remember playing it as a kid. Of course, at 10, I couldn't figure out what the hell I was doing. But, you know, when me and my son back in 2019 started our channel, it was one of the early, because it was an early game.
Yeah.
Like that game was early in the lifespan.
Right. It was just Enix at that point. It wasn't even Square Enix.
Yeah. And we played through it, and I was like, this game is shockingly good. And it's got not only, you know, like you said, the platforming is passable. It's good. Right. There's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah.
The bosses are okay. They have pattern recognition in there. The music's really good. The sim building is really actually pretty fun. There's elements of you move forward in the story, but then you have to go back to a previous place to finish building that because you found something to help those people, and just so much more in depth than I expected out of that. It's just such a good game.
Right. And I believe there's no set order you have to go in that game. I think you can go to any of the towns to start off with. Like there's a recommended order in the manual, but I'm pretty sure when we talked on the podcast for the game, Chris mentioned like you can do it in any order you want. But obviously
you had to start in the one, but
maybe you might have to start somewhere, but I think after that you can go to any of the towns.
Yeah.
100%. That's like one of my top 10 SNES games.
Yeah, it's great.
When people come in and they ask for recommendations and stuff, I usually do ActRaiser because it's like most people, you know, most average Joe SNES player hasn't heard of that one or played it. Absolutely. Love that one. And I have beat that one.
Nice.
So,
there we go.
Got that going for me. And that's a great example, too, of a game where they completely shit the bed on the sequel.
Oh yeah.
I was just going to bring that. ActRaiser 2 is terrible.
Looked amazing. Played awful.
Yeah.
And they got rid of the sim building. It's literally
and that's like that's what made that game so unique.
Yeah.
That's a series that they need to like do another one.
Yes.
Like, or someone needs to do a spiritual sequel, anything. Like,
well, I think they did a spiritual successor.
They did a remake where they like
they did a remake,
the visuals and everything.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, because Chris played it on his he streamed it, I think. But there is also a spiritual successor. I just can't remember what it's called. So I think I brought it up on the podcast.
Interesting. I'll see if I can find it. I'll throw it up.
Yeah, I'm looking real quick. It was like Soul something. Soul Seraph. That's it. It was released in 2019. I think it was on all modern consoles. Okay. I think it was digital only.
Sure.
But yeah, it was like a spiritual successor. I never played that one. I don't know if it's any good, but yeah. I would love a third game in that series. But
as long as it went back to the
yes, exactly.
As long as it went back to the original concept, yes.
Yep, agreed. All right. So number 3 is actually made by the same people that made ActRaiser. And that is, wait, did I say 3? 2. This is 2. Soul Blazer on the Super Nintendo. This game was one that my buddy, again, Nefarious West, that I brought up earlier, he always raved about. And I spent years trying to find this. I couldn't find it at conventions. It was never at a game store. And then finally I found it at a local store. And I was, actually, no, I got it at a convention finally. And this is almost like, it's an action game mixed with RPG elements, but not like turn-based. I don't like JRPGs, but action RPGs I enjoy. So similar to ActRaiser, you kind of play as God, and you need to rebuild these towns. You go to these dungeons, and there's these monster layers that you have to destroy all the monsters in those layers. Once they're destroyed, you go on the little monster layer that disappeared. There's like a little marking on the ground, and it will release something new into the town that you're rebuilding, whether it's a new person or a building or whatever. And you kind of progress your way through that game. The sound effects are very similar to ActRaiser. In fact, the HP bar at the top of the screen looks the exact same as ActRaiser. Once again, the soundtrack is amazing. I believe this is Quintet that did this. And yeah, they are a great developer or publisher. I don't remember which one they do on the Super Nintendo. All their games are amazing. Their soundtracks are amazing. And yeah, this blew me away. I was so happy to finally play it. And it's one that I have to go back to. I've only played it once. I played through it, but I instantly fell in love with it. I mean, it's easily a top 10 game for me on the Super Nintendo. I love this one.
This is one that I need to dig into more. I've only played a little bit of it, but it shows up anytime you see like a hidden gem video or anything. It's always popping up on there.
Yep.
But I need to dig into it.
Yeah, it was just real interesting going in. You go through the dungeons and you get the people back in town and they rebuild slow. It was a really interesting story and concept for sure.
Yeah.
And really good. I enjoyed it thoroughly. Never beat it, but
and I think if I remember correctly, it's like technically part of a trilogy. Like loosely, right? It's Soul Blazer, Illusion of Gaia, and then Terra Enigma. Yeah, that we didn't get in the United States. So I want to get like a repro cart or English translated Terra Enigma at some point so I can play it, because I loved Illusion of Gaia. In fact, it was on my list of possible games to do on my top 5, but it didn't quite make the cut.
Yeah. One of my my close friends is from Germany and absolutely loves Terra Enigma. Grew up obviously playing it, and always raves about that. And I've never had a chance to play it either, but I do love Illusion of Gaia. You're right. That was great.
Yeah. Well, before I get to my number 1, there were 2 games that I wanted to put on my list that I couldn't. I don't have them in my stack. I should have brought them over here, but there's 2 that I really like. There's Super Ghouls and Ghosts. I absolutely hate Ghosts and Goblins on the NES, but Super Ghouls and Ghosts is an amazing game. It is super hard, but I never got frustrated with that game when I played it. We had a bunch of people in the retro game community that were kind of playing it at the same time, so we were kind of giving clues to each other. I would have probably hated it as a kid. I think I probably would have given up on it. But as an adult, where I had time to kind of learn it a little bit better, I really enjoyed that one.
I want to give a special shout out to another Cartridge Clubber out there, J-Rock.
Yes, J-Rock.
He made an amazing video series detailing how to go through Super Ghouls and Ghosts, and that actually made me want to play it. And I did go through and I used his awesome guide to beat the game. And ever since then, I'm like, dude, I was sleeping on Super Ghouls and Ghosts. This game's amazing.
Yeah, it's brutal, but it's fun.
Yeah, I've never beat it, but it is a really fun game. And like you said, Algebra, as a kid, no chance. No. I would have rage quit that game and thrown a controller. But as an adult, if you can power through it, and it's repetition, you just got to learn where things are going to be. And
you have to learn the pattern of the chests. So there's hidden chests you could find. And I believe it starts with a weapon. Then you get green armor.
Is it green or?
I think green goes first and then gold armor.
Okay. Yeah, I forget.
Yeah. And so you have to make sure you have all of that before you even get the goddess bracelet to finish the second loop, which honestly, if that's probably what brought that game down for me, is the goddess bracelet absolutely sucks. Like the second loop is tougher, but you can use like your mate. Like I use the gold armor with the crossbow, so it homes in on enemies. It's fantastic choice, but you have to finish the game with the goddess bracelet, and depending on which armor you have affects how far the goddess bracelet will fire. So if you have no armor, you are basically screwed. You are not beating that final boss. And there's two of them, or there. Well, first of all, sorry, it's not final boss. In that last level, there's two bosses back to back that you have to fight. And the first one's not too bad. The second one's brutal. But yeah, if you don't have gold armor, it's extremely hard to beat that. Yep. But then the final boss after that is kind of a pushover. But yeah, the goddess bracelet really brings that down, because the bracelet in the Genesis version, just ghouls and ghosts, is a much better weapon, and it doesn't make the game as difficult.
All the ghouls games, my issue with them has always been, and I've never beat them, but it's the fact that when you do finally push through and beat that first time, it's like, hey, do it again.
Do it again. Yep.
Yeah. Like, come on. Like the game wasn't brutal enough.
Right. Well, if I'm going to suggest, I would say start with the Genesis version. I do think that is the easiest game in the series. But Curtis, have you played that one much?
The Genesis one?
Yeah.
Only a little bit. I know that's the one you can shoot up, which is huge.
And down. If you jump, you can shoot down.
Oh, nice.
Which is a huge help.
I only a little bit, just to test it out.
Yeah. But yeah, I love the series now, except for the NES game. I hate that game. Yeah,
I'm not a fan.
I've beaten it. I'm good. I'm never touching it again. And then my other honorable mention, real quick, is Super Adventure Island. I fell in love with the Adventure Island series. It must have been at least 4 or 5 years ago now. My buddy Solid Nate, when I first met him on YouTube, he was going through trying to no death run Adventure Island, which is a super tough game on the NES. And it made me want to play the game. So I played through it. And while it's frustrating and it's hard, I never got annoyed with it. It was one of those where I would stream it for like 3 hours. I would make it maybe halfway through the game. And all I could do the next day is just think about playing that game. I'm like, I need to get back to this. I want to finish this game. And I streamed it again. And then I accidentally didn't hit continue. I just started the game back over after like 3 hours of playing it. So I stopped the stream and then I went back to it and I finally made it through the game, because that didn't have passwords or save at all. Like you said, to get through the entire game. So then after that, I was like, okay, I want to play Adventure Island 2. I'm going to play Adventure Island 3. Then I found out that there's Game Boy games. So I played through those. And I just became a huge fan of the Adventure Island series. And so when I found out there's a Super Adventure Island, I had to grab that. And it was so much fun. The music is done by Yuzo Koshiro. So if you don't know, he's a fantastic composer. He did Streets of Rage 2, which is my favorite game of all time, and one of my favorite soundtracks. And you can honestly hear, if you've played both games, you can hear a little bit of like Streets of Rage in Super Adventure Island. But it's definitely on the easier side of the Adventure Island series. But it's just great looking. It has great gameplay. The music's fantastic. And it's very fun. It's very different from Super Adventure Island 2 and then also Adventure Island 4 that came out on the NES, but we didn't get it over here. Those are more honestly like Metroidvania style games where you kind of have to find different power-ups to progress. Whereas this was a straight platformer. You just have to get through the game, and it was amazing.
You know, what I'll say about Super Adventure Island, I've only played it a little bit, but the whole Adventure Island series like really stresses me out, because it has the timer,
yep.
Which like tons of games have timers, right? Like Mario has a timer, but for whatever reason, like the Adventure Island one just stresses me out, because I see it up there. It's so like prominent, like you better collect fruit or whatever, that I haven't. That's kind of what's kept me away from it. I don't like games that like put like a hard timer on me. It's like Majora's Mask. Majora's Mask stresses me out to no end.
Yeah, that's fair. I hate timers.
Yeah.
It's just one of my biggest bugbears, because when I sit down to play a game, I want to enjoy myself. I don't want to feel stressed about it.
Yeah.
But so many of the games from this era really were just tick, 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 you gotta hurry.
Well, they had to add that artificial difficulty because they didn't want you to, like, games, obviously were still pretty expensive back then.
Yeah.
And we obviously didn't get as many games as we do now as adults, right? Like, I got friends who were like, we got 2 games a year, one for Christmas and one for our birthday, and it's like, if you beat that game in a day,
you're done.
Well, you're stuck. Like
Yeah.
that's all you're playing for the entire, for another 6 months or whatever.
Or, God forbid you get a crappy game.
Yeah.
Like you get
right?
the Rocketeer or something. You're like, oh no.
Hey, you know what? The Rocketeer's not that bad.
Of course,
It's pretty bad.
You're gonna like.
I mean, yes, it starts off bad, but after that, it's pretty fun. So I streamed that one and I got through it and I enjoyed it.
Sure, Jan.
I'm telling you, man. So here's sidebar. Here's the problem with Rocketeer. Everyone hates the beginning racing stage in the plane, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The problem is everyone looks at the big screen and it's hard to tell your position. There's a little tiny screen in the bottom
mini-map,
middle
yeah.
that you need to watch. They really should have put that on the big screen and done the other part in the middle. And then you can tell where you are, because I had no problem with the flying stage.
Yeah.
And that's a really cool, shooting gallery type level where there's enemies and you just have to shoot them. Now the final stage is tough, where you're trying to fight the guy on the blimp.
On the Zeppelin. Yeah.
Yes,
Me
on
and
the
my
Zeppelin.
son beat that one.
That is tough.
That's a tough game.
Right, because it's not made well. Like when you think of beat 'em ups typically are done well. That part is terrible.
Not so much.
No,
Which is
but
too bad.
I mean,
because the Rocketeer film is amazing.
yes,
That's like one
and
of my
the
favorites.
NES game
For
is
sure.
great. But yeah, the Super Nintendo is not as good, but I don't think it's as bad as like AVGN has made it sound.
Mm.
You have to put your time into it. I did a no death run of it. So it's doable.
All right, let me take that back. Say you get the Untouchables for your birthday.
That was
Whoa. You just picked another game that I really like.
No,
Come
no,
on.
no,
How do you
no.
not
gotta
have
be
the
kidding me.
Untouchables?
No,
That game
horrible.
is so much fun.
Oh,
Hard
get out of here.
pass.
And it sounds, dude, the sound effects in that game are amazing. Oh, I did a no death run of that one too.
You're a masochist. That's what you
You are.
Let me, Curtis, here. Super Troll Islands. There you go. That's a bad game. Let's say you get that.
Whoa. Don't be hating on Super Troll Islands. That's like that. If ActRaiser's top 10, Super Troll Islands top 5.
Okay, sure. Yeah.
No, I've never.
I can't wait to see it on your list. Have you played that one, Curtis? Super
I
Troll
haven't.
Islands?
No.
It's not good.
Yeah. No.
Have you gotten that, Joe, on your?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I'm
that's-
so mad. So my buddy used to do like a lunchtime stream, and he did like an SNES roulette. So he had an emulator, and he had all the games listed. He'd pick spin a number, and whatever game came up, he'd play. So I was always like, play Super Troll Islands, because I knew what it was, because I grabbed it at a game store once, not knowing what it was, and I was instantly regretting it once I
Yeah.
played it.
That's
And
rough.
he played through the whole game for me.
Jesus.
So last year I streamed it, and with the goal of getting through the game, and I soft locked myself like 2 hours in,
oh no.
and I was so mad. So I still have to go back and play it, but it's not good.
Yeah, I think I'm down to I only have like 60 or 80 games left to play
Oh wow!
Pretty impressive.
for the
though.
library. And
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
I haven't
awesome.
beat them all, but I've
Right,
played
we've at
them
least
all.
played them. Yeah.
So yeah, I have experience with a lot of them, and yeah,
Mhm.
Troll Island was a rough one.
Yeah, but the thing is, not all of them are worth beating. Some
no.
games just aren't good.
Some aren't even worth putting in the system.
Right, exactly. So
Yeah.
that's why, I think you're doing it better where you're emulating, right, Joe?
Yeah, for the most
Yeah.
part, we did a lot of physicals, like all the Super Scope games.
Yeah.
We had to do physically,
Mm-mm.
but for the most part, when I stream, I emulate just for ease
Right.
of use.
Which is probably smarter for me, because I'm obviously doing for the Genesis collection, but I'm also streaming all of them.
Mhm.
And yes, there are some that I try to play at least an hour of each one.
Yeah, that's what I do.
And there's some where I'm like, this is brutal. I think I hate columns. Like, I don't mind puzzle games. They're not my
Yeah.
favorite, but like Tetris is good. Dr. Mario is good. I cannot stand columns. I
Those
think
like
I
match
lasted.
3 squares.
Yes. Yep. I think I went like 20, 30 minutes on it. I'm like, I'm done. We are moving.
Yeah.
I'm not streaming this for an hour. No.
There are some games where, you're like, I've played 10 minutes. I've
Yep.
seen what this game has to offer. Like,
Yeah.
it's not going to get better
Exactly.
or more interesting. It's just
Right.
the nature of the beast.
Yep. Yeah. And unfortunately, the Genesis and even the Super Nintendo are so full of sports games. And I love sports. Don't get me wrong. I like playing some of them.
Yeah.
But God, when I was streaming Madden 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, all in a row, it's like,
They're
oh
rough.
my God, I need something different. And those aren't even bad games, but I need something different.
Yeah, wait till you get to the actual bad ones.
Yeah, I know. Oh, I've gotten to some.
Yeah.
Trust me.
The
I
Maddens
have
are
got my
rough.
fair share. But yeah,
I can appreciate Madden as a series, but the 90s era was not it.
No,
right.
No.
All right. Let's get
All
to my number one.
Number one.
And this is another Konami game. And this is one of my favorite franchises of all time. And it's a shame that I did not know this game existed when I was a kid. I had the 2 NES game. Well, 2 of the 3 NES games. We don't talk about the third one because it doesn't really count. And that is Contra 3 Alien Wars. This game is amazing. Super C on the NES is my favorite NES game of all time. Contra is right behind it. They are fantastic run and gun shooters. They're amazing. But Contra 3 took all of that and added in the Super Nintendo sound, the Super Nintendo graphics, and it makes for an amazing game. There's nods to the NES game with certain bosses. It's cool how you can have 2 weapons at once and you can kind of switch between them. In fact, that adds to some of the strategy when you fight certain bosses. The boss that comes through the wall with the giant head is super cool. I love the top-down stages. I know not everybody loves that with the Mode 7, where you have to use the L and R buttons to kind of rotate the camera. I still thought those were super cool. You do have to play it on the hard mode to get the best ending, but honestly, all it is an extra boss. I think it's still worth doing, but definitely play it on normal first, because hard mode makes the bullets travel faster from the enemies. It also makes the bosses attack faster. So if you don't know their patterns ahead of time, you're going to be in for a world of hurt. So play it on normal. That counts as a beat in my opinion. But then if you want to, if you're up to the challenge, try it on hard mode, because there is an extra boss that is super fun to fight. And you get that extra ending at the end. But yeah, I love Contra series, and I'm so disappointed that I didn't have that as a kid.
Contra 3 was really, really good. And I think you're right. A lot of people unjustly crap on the top-down Mode 7 rotation screen, because I thought those, at the time, especially with Mode 7,
exactly,
super inventive boss fights. But yeah, people love to hate on that.
Yeah.
And I think my favorite part of the game, aside from the fact that 2 weapons now, which was huge, being able to switch back and forth, all of the levels where you're climbing, hand over hand on pipes, or the one where you're jumping, like hanging off of missiles, it was so cool as a kid. You're like, oh, it felt like, an action movie.
Yep.
Very, very cool.
I have a hot take.
Uh-oh.
Not a big fan of Contra.
You know what?
3.
I'm impressed that we went this long into the podcast and you haven't had a hot take yet, because your NES hot takes were crazy.
I'm a lot more forgiving on Super Nintendo. Not a big fan of Contra 3. And I say that Contra 1 is my favorite NES game of all time.
Have you played Super C?
And so I really like Super C as well.
Okay, well, how is it not your number one? I don't get that.
Well, I just...
Super C is just better.
Contra, the first Contra, I think, is just so brilliantly designed. No notes.
It's a 1A, 1B type of thing. Like both of those games are amazing.
Pretty much, yeah. The Contra 3, once it got to the 16-bit era, I think it just got a little too chaotic for me. It's so difficult. I did go through and beat it like maybe a year or two ago. I used save states, because I was like, I don't have the time. I don't have the time to sit here and like get good.
I don't want to hear that.
I wish I had the time. I got but I did want to see like the ending, because I was like, I want to know. I want to know, because I really like Contra, but it's just so difficult, and I just didn't have the time. Yeah. But I do like the Contra idea. It's just they're so tough. That one and Hardcore are just
Hardcore is so good. And Hardcore is cool because it has the alternate endings, like depending on what path you take.
Yeah.
That one's super cool. So a ton of replayability. Yeah, neither of those I grew up with. Like we had Super C and Contra, and then the next Contra game we had was Legacy of War on the PlayStation 1. And I don't know if you guys have played that, but it's terrible.
Doesn't ring a bell.
No, that, and I think there's the Contra Adventure, which I haven't played yet, but I have it. Those kind of left a very black mark on the Contra series, along with Contra Force. And then the PS2 games are amazing, Neo Contra and Shattered Soldier. So that kind of brought it more back into prominence. But yeah, don't play the PlayStation 1 games. Those are not good.
Fair enough.
Okay.
Well, that was a great top 5.
Thank you.
If you can, because you talked about your favorite soundtracks, can we just do a rapid fire, top 5 soundtracks?
I'm
curious.
Donkey Kong Country 1 and 2 are probably tied for the top spot. I have a hard time choosing between the two because I think I like overall number 1 better, but 2 has God, what is it? Sticker Bush Symphony.
Yeah.
Which is so good. I mean, David Wise was a genius at composing those. I'd probably add in Batman Returns because I love the soundtrack from the movie. It's really good. Honestly, ActRaiser would probably be on there. Yep. What am I at? I'm at like 3-ish, maybe 4. This is tough. I'd probably throw Contra 3 on there.
Yeah. Well.
I'd say, honestly, like a lot of the lists that I just gave you would have been on that list for top soundtracks. Other than obviously Donkey Kong Country would be there for number 1.
I mean, there's a reason. There's a reason you consider a top game, right? And sound has to have something to do with it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like if you're going to play a game over and over, you're going to want to listen to it.
Right. And for the most part, like to me, gameplay is number 1. Everything else is kind of adds to the game, but it's not it's super important. That's why like Super Mario World I love, but I can't listen to that soundtrack by itself. Like I tried that. Like I used to think I loved the soundtrack, and I was like editing videos, and I was like, "Oh, I love Super Mario World. Let's put that music in it." And I was listening to them like, "This isn't as good when you're not playing the game."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whereas
fair.
like I think the games I listed, I can listen to those separate from the game.
Okay. Well, we will be back with our next top 5 right after these messages.
Thank you, Margaret. Okay, now where's Zach? Zach? On my vacation, I went to Super Adventure Island with Master Higgins battling monster reptiles and a giant skeleton warrior and 25 treacherous levels. We dove over the lava pit, then to the castle to find Genie Jungle.
Super Adventure Island from Hudson Soft, available on Super NES.
Save me!
For Super Adventure Island game tips, call 800-82-HUDSON.
And we're back. Welcome back. Okay, so up next is this guy. Let's get dangerous. I don't know what that was.
You are the gum that sticks to my shoe.
So, top 5. Let's see. Can I make myself big? Okay, here we go. I decided my top 5 is going to be the mid 5 SNES games.
Nice.
So everybody, you see so many lists, right? Everybody's talking about their top 5 or even the bottom 5, the worst games you've ever played. But there is like a healthy swath of games right in the middle that nobody ever really talks about. Obviously there's like the hidden gems and stuff, but I tried to pick games that like aren't necessarily hidden gems. They're good, but they have, a couple flaws here and there that hold them back, that put them right in the middle of the pack. So yeah, I'm calling this my mid 5 SNES games. Let me just pull up my list here. So number 5 is probably the best game, honestly, and we mentioned it a little bit ago, and that's Super Adventure Island 2, which is a really good game. If you like Metroid and you want like something else of that flavor, this is the game you play. I don't have much to knock against this other than it was such a wild departure from the rest of the series that I think most people didn't know what it was or were turned off when they started playing it, and it wasn't like the Adventure Island that they knew and loved. I don't quite know, but I feel like this is a game that nobody really talks about and is phenomenal. I'm wondering, have you guys played it?
I have.
You don't like it?
The Super Adventure Island, like they're fine games. They're just not. They're difficult, and I don't know. The Super Nintendo is a game system I go to for comfort.
Yeah,
and if it's not a comfort game, it tends to get kind of left off to the side.
Fair enough.
that's true. It could become a comfort game if you play it enough. Though.
If you play it enough,
Yeah.
if you play anything enough, right?
Yeah, right.
What's great about Super Adventure Island 2, no timer.
That's true.
It takes the
Take
time.
your time with it. Go around.
Mhm.
Great game. Algebra, have you played that?
I have. Yep. I've played every game of the Adventure Island series.
Yeah.
Like I said,
Where does that stand with you? You didn't really talk about your feelings on that one.
That one's definitely lower. Not that it's a bad game. In fact, I love every game in the series. The problem is it is so different from the other ones. And yes, Adventure Island 4
That's what I'm talking about.
Yep, it was the same thing, but we didn't get Adventure Island 4 here in the United States. So for most people in the United States, Super Adventure Island 2 was the first style for that game.
Yeah.
Because all 3 of the NES games, the 2 Game Boy games, and the first Super Adventure Island game were all in that typical Adventure Island style. And 2 is so different. It's still fun. It's still good. But I would probably list it below all of those other ones because it's so different.
So it's right there in the middle of the Super Nintendo game.
This is the one where you had to go around the ocean on the raft, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. I thought I was remembering right.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that was my number 5. Number 4 is a racing game, and this is Lamborghini American Challenge. I can already see Snes is like shaking his head. I think this is a really fun racing game. I was actually playing it last week, brushing up. I was like, do I have, are my memories serving me correct? Because I really enjoy this. The fatal flaw with this game is there's money, right? And this game is almost awesome because you do repairs on your car. It would be nice if they had a little bit more of like an RPG, like level up system, like buy better tires, buy this, buy that. That would be cool. Not really present. But this money aspect, right? You can gamble in it before each race. Now, each race costs money to get into it. So let's say it's like $3,000. And then whoever your like rivals are in the race, you can bet against them and possibly win more money if you do well, right? But the big fatal flaw in this is if you don't have enough money to go to the next race, it's game over. There's nothing that like stops you. And I made this mistake. I got really far in the game and I was feeling good. I was like in the zone. I can't be beat. You know what? I'm going to just bet a bunch of money. I'm going to like go all in, right? But because I bet everything, I didn't have enough to enter the race. And I just got a game over. And I was like, what? How did it even allow you to do that? I had enough money to. And so that's the big issue with that. But I have a lot of fun with that game.
That's hilarious.
Mhm.
I love that this is your 5 mid games because as soon as you said it, I was like, that game is super mid. And it really, really is. To me, the one thing Lamborghini has going for it, and this was what made the game interesting to me and my son when we played it, is it has a super scope mode.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh, it does?
So the second player, if you plug in a super scope, can just shoot the other cars
Oh, that's awesome.
and blow them up.
And can help you.
Yes.
Oh, that's
Dude, that's the
amazing.
best way to
Yeah.
play this game then.
Yeah, it really is. So the first player has to do the race, which is it's a racing game,
Mhm.
Very arcade style. But yeah, the second player can just shoot the opponent's cars and blow them up.
Wow.
Wow. Very cool.
It's a very strange mode that they stuck in there that when you find out about it, you go, why is this here?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Because it's not a light gun game. It certainly
Right.
wasn't advertised that way. It's just a secret mode that the programmers put in, I guess, because they thought it was funny.
Well, I'm going to have to check that out because I have
Yeah.
I have a bazooka
Nice.
or super scope. And that sounds amazing. This is also one of the games I had as a kid. This is from my childhood
Okay.
collection.
Nice.
This is the
this
bargain
from
bin game.
the influx of games that I got from my friend when I got
Mhm.
that like second batch. And I played it a lot, but I remember that the gambling thing, it I don't know
Yeah.
why they allow that. There should have been
Right.
like a built-in thing. You can't
Stop
bet
you.
more than like the money you
Your
need
entry
for
Yeah.
fee.
Right. Huh. I didn't
That's
know the
funny,
game
though.
existed. I've never heard of it. So
Games with soft locks.
It's
Yeah.
very much in that like Rad Racer outrun,
okay.
Yeah.
That's like
vein.
a $30 to $40 game though. Like
Is
And
it?
it
why
really
is it-
should
Yes.
be. It
I just looked it up on
absolutely shouldn't be.
I mean I'm using price charting, so obviously there's take it with a
No,
grain
it's
of
like
salt.
a $20 game at the moment. It's like a 15. It
Yeah,
plays
it
like a
could be.
$15, $20 game.
I think when we bought it back in like 2019, it was probably like $15.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
yeah.
it's-
It's
that's
not
a-
going for that anymore.
It's
so.
a bubble inflation price there.
Yeah.
Totally. All right. Number 3
So this is another one I had when I was a child, and I think a lot of people had this one. And I played the heck out of it. Never beat it until emulators became a thing and you could do save states, which is going to tie into the big fatal flaw in this game. And that is Jurassic Park. Great game if you've never played it. It has two modes of play, really. It's got the top-down kind of Zelda style, like Link to the Past type that you're used to, where you go around the outer map. But whenever you go indoors, it goes into like Doom mode, right? Like first-person mode. And the game itself, the like overall objective is you're trying to collect raptor eggs. Like that's how you beat the game. There's like, I forget, something like 18 raptor eggs. And so all you're doing is going around and collecting these eggs. And it's got a little bit of a Metroid Vania style to it in the sense that like you can't access certain parts of the map until you go into like this building and unlock this and get the gate open and blah, blah, blah. Then, of course, you're evading dinosaurs and the such along the way. The big fatal flaw with this game is there's no save or password system. You have to do it in one run. And unless you know the game, you would be playing this forever. Even if you know everything perfectly. If you watch like a speed run, like a speed run is still hours long. Like you can't, this game is not a short game. And the fact that they overlooked adding a save feature or password is such an egregious mistake. And it really holds this game back. And I think a reason it's not more fondly remembered by a lot of people, because it's pretty fun.
Yeah, this is a game I've always wanted to play.
I do fondly remember it.
Yeah, and I just have never gotten into it. I've beaten the NES version and the Game Boy version, which honestly are very similar style of games, where you have to collect the raptor eggs and stuff like that. But they don't have obviously the first person Doom style gameplay. And yeah, it's one of those I've always wanted to play. But I think the fatal flaw you brought up was just kind of it was a sign of the times, right? Like we talked about this earlier. Game developers didn't want you to beat a game super quickly, right? Like because you weren't going to buy that many games.
Sure.
And so you had to take your time and learn the game. And I think that's what it was kind of built for. Like you'd play it, for an hour or two and you'd get far. And then the next time you played it, you'd get a little bit further. You'd play it again, you get a little bit further. Now, as adults, we don't quite have the same amount of time probably. But yeah, it's on my list of games to get to. I see it all the time. I just need to play through it.
So I really liked this game. First off, the soundtrack's really, really good.
Yes.
I love the music for this game. The top down, very colorful, looked great. I love the dinosaurs and they come out of the trees and they ambush you. The Triceratops that like chases you down the freaking lane. The first person, I was a huge Doom kid. So the first time I played it and it was like you go into the building and it puts up your goggles and you're in that first person. I was like, holy, they put this in the Super Nintendo. Great game. But like you said, save states. This was a Nintendo Power, give me a map game.
Yes.
Because you get so lost.
Yeah. Especially like there's like a mountain area, like the Raptor Mountain area, which it's just like winding roads, like to keep track. It's one of those ones where you got to bust out the graph paper and make your own map. Like if you're going to keep track of where everything was. I wish I would have done that as a kid. I didn't. I just didn't ever have it in me to do that. But yeah.
Yeah, it was a good game, but you're right. Again, mid. It falls into that mid category. You're like, if it's a thing you end up liking, you'll like it. But it's definitely got some things holding it back, primarily the save feature.
Yeah. All right. Number 2, another game I owned growing up, and another movie game actually. And that I don't have much more of a preamble for this game other than that. So I'll just jump into it. It's the Addams Family. The first one, right? Of which there's, I believe, 3 on the Super Nintendo. And this game is so much better than it has any right to be. It's actually like a pretty long game too. And it does have a password feature, so you can go back to it. But it's what's great about it is it's almost open world,
right? You start out like outside of the Addams Family like mansion, and then when you go inside, it's got these stairways and doors that kind of go to the different levels, and you the whole the objective of the game is to say you play as Gomez, and you have to save all the other Addams Family members, right? Pugsley, Wednesday, Morticia, and Grandma, and Fester. So I think there's 5 different kind of levels, but you can play it in any order, and then you can upgrade your health, and you can get certain weapons and stuff along the way, and it's great. The fatal flaw is the controls are a little slippery. Gomez is extremely slippery, but it's got a learning curve, but you kind of get used to it. And then it's very difficult, like really difficult. And each level is pretty long, like just like almost too long. Like if they would have shaved it down a little bit, because you kind of go from room to room, and if you die and you have to do it over again, it's kind of frustrating. And I can see that turning a lot of people off. But I remember playing this as a kid and getting good and getting all the way to the end and beating it, where you're like sweating, your hands are hurting, you got calluses all over your thumbs from like holding the controller and doing the jumps and everything. And I absolutely love this game, but it's another one of those games that I don't feel kind of gets brought up in the conversation a lot, and sits right there in the middle.
Addams Family, like you said, brutally difficult, and Gomez is very, very slippery. But the game did give me one thing. This was an early one that my son and I played for our show as well. Is whenever you get hit, it goes, oh. Yeah. 6 years later, we'll be playing a video game. One of us will die, and the other one will look at the other like, It's just something silly and dumb, but I do remember the game quite. It was a good game, like very cartoony looking too.
Totally. It's kind of got like a chibi style.
Yes.
Addams Family, like very cutesy.
Very exaggerated.
Yeah, exaggerated. Yeah.
But,
and it's fun, but I love the open world aspect of it. Like you can kind of go in any order you want, which is really fun. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, this one, another one I've not played. I don't even own this one. But I think I've got the Game Boy version. I think they're supposed to be very similar games. So
well, I can't comment on that.
Yeah, I will look, and I'm going to Midwest Gaming Classic here in about a month in Milwaukee. So maybe I'll take a look for that one. I do have Addams Family Values, where you play as
not
Fester.
as good.
No, aren't they both by Ocean though?
I think Ocean did all of them.
I think so. Yeah,
it is not a sign of quality.
Yeah, right. Exactly. That's usually that Ocean is like the LJN of Super Nintendo. Like people shit on LJN all the time, which I love. Actually, that's the top 5 I did when we did the NES one last year. Yeah, Ocean games. Oof.
Yeah, they're the ones that licensed all the movie tie-ins.
Yeah, they're rough.
And then the third one's like Pugsley's and Scab.
Yeah, I don't have that.
Which was something. That was based on the cartoon show.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, also not good.
Yeah. Cool. All right. And then my number 1. This is one I also owned when I was a child. I remember getting this one. This was one of those ones that just, I don't know how which family member gave it to me. I'm sure they just saw the cover, liked it, picked it up, and I got it for a birthday or Christmas or something. And that is Plock. Love Plock. So let's talk about the positives first. Super colorful. The graphics are great. The music, the sound. You want to talk about a hidden gem soundtrack? Plock. They released it on vinyl. Look up that vinyl. It's like a $200 vinyl to get that soundtrack. It's a lot of. It's just super creative. It's made in the UK, which it's got a lot of the hallmarks of UK games where you're collecting. There's just like tons of stuff to collect on the screen. It's seashells in this one, and you can get bonus continues, and you can get more lives, of which you will need to get very good at getting bonus lives in this, because the fatal flaw is, again, just like Jurassic Park, no saves, no password. And this is another long game. And unlike Jurassic Park, but much like Addams Family, this one is exceptionally difficult. The further you get into the game, it is so hard. And it was one that I did not beat until emulators came around, and again, I could do save states. I would love to know anyone who's able to beat this game without using save states, because it is the last world of the game is so difficult. Like, I can barely beat one of those levels with 20 lives, you know. And I loved this game so much. A little Plock story. I loved this game so much that I wrote, when I was a kid, I wrote like a Plock. I wrote like the outline for like a Plock movie or like a TV show or something. And on the early version of the internet, I like tried to find who was in charge of Plock, like who the creators were. And I think I found some sort of email, like the company or whatever. I honestly don't know, but I remember emailing them and I was like, hey, I don't know what's going on with Plock. Like, I love this game. I think you should do more with the property. In fact, I wrote an outline for a film. If you want to take a look and use that, or TV show or whatever, you know, or just give us another Plock video game. You should do that. And I sent out this email. Unfortunately, never got a response. I don't know if I sent it. There's probably like some guy getting this email and he's like, what the heck is Plock? What is this? I don't know. But yes, I absolutely love Plock. And I think the only thing that Plock has ever given the world besides the video game is there was a comic book series that yeah, I looked it up. I want to say it's not long. It's like, I don't know, 4 issues or something, but it does exist, and I do plan on getting it one day because I love Plock. I love Plock. What do you guys have to say?
Yeah, this is one of the few that I've actually played a little bit of from your list.
Hey.
And yeah, I agree. I had fun with it, but yeah, it gets brutal. And I don't think there's continues.
There are continues.
Maybe? Okay.
There's lives and continues. So like once you run out of lives, you have continues, and it's pretty generous with it, I will say. But the game is so difficult, you burn through them really
Maybe
fast.
that was it. But yeah, I threw it in one night. I'm like, I'll try this game out, and I was enjoying it, but I just remember it just all of a sudden got super difficult, and I just never went back to it.
The level design is a little like, you kind of have to memorize some of the stuff because it's too fast and too twitchy to really be able to react properly.
Right.
But when you play it over and over and over again, like I did, I got so good at it.
Exactly.
You know.
It's a game for kids because that's the only. I don't mean that like, oh, this is a kiddie game. So first off, underrated, overrated. I didn't play Plock until I was an adult for the show. And at that point, I, like you guys say, you know, I was watching YouTubers and what are some underrated gems and hidden gems, and Plock keeps falling on all these lists. And I got to, and I was like, I hate this game. The levels, like you said, are big and obtuse, and they're kind of hard to figure out what the hell is where. Very, very difficult.
It's tricky too. But before we get off the levels, it's tricky because like the first world, it's pretty much left to right.
Yeah.
And the levels are short, but as the game goes on, you
have
get
to
different
wander.
objectives, and the levels suddenly get really big.
Yeah.
Really hard to manage.
And you have to go all over the place.
Yeah, and there's this mechanic where you have to shoot targets with your limbs, right? Because your weapons is you shoot your arms,
throw
and
your hands.
Yeah, but as you shoot these targets, they like disappear, and you have to go find the like clothes hanger they're hanging on, right?
Yep.
And there are some levels that they force you to get down to like just your like jumping torso, you know, before you and you have to go find your limbs. Really, really tough.
Yeah. I did not like Plock. It had been by the time I got to it, so many people had been like, it's such a good game, that I got to it and I was like, I hate this now. like this is not as fun as everybody intended.
Yeah.
Nice.
Well, there you
good
go.
list, Curtis.
That is my mid 5 Super Nintendo games. And we're going to come back at you with another top 5 right after this message.
You're looking at the next breakthrough for the Super Nintendo Entertainment System. Introducing Super Scope 6. Remote-powered and laser-accurate. Precise to a single television pixel. It comes with 6 great games, and it's yours for under $60, all of which gets you into the game. Like never before. Super Scope 6, only for Super Nintendo. Now you're playing with power. Superpower.
And we're back. Joe, take it away.
All right. So, you said top 5, and I had a hard time kind of thinking about what kind of top 5 I wanted to do. There are so many games on the Super Nintendo that when someone says, oh, what are the top 5 games? there's probably a top 20 that are considered some of the greatest games of all time. There just is. And so I went with 5 games that I will play no matter what. If you set me down and this game is there, 100% I'm going to slap an hour or two into it. Just no questions asked.
Love it.
So I want to do a couple honorable mentions just first.
Sure.
Super Mario World. I play through that game once a year. Sometimes I'll play through the whole experience, 96 levels. Sometimes I'll speed run it, which I think you can do in like 12 to 15 worlds if you do the star levels.
Yeah.
That's the one, of course, I grew up with. And, it's the constant nostalgia of being a child. I've played it so many times. I know exactly where everything is. It's comfort food,
I just played Super Mario World last week. It came into the store, and you just check it to see if the battery's still working. But I was like, it was kind of slow, and I was like, I'm gonna play it through the whole game. I'm gonna try it because it had like half the game was already played.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm just gonna finish it all off and get my 96 star.
Yeah.
And so I got everything right, and I only had 95.
That's one of the secret exits.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what did I not go? Because part of getting the stars, like you have to do every exit in every level. So if a level has multiple exits, you got to do both.
Yep.
And for the life of me, I was like, I don't know which one I missed. Oh man, I'm right there. So,
that's funny.
Anyway.
Yeah, that's the worst when you don't know which one you missed.
Yeah.
Because especially like in the Forest of Illusion, there's some that have. Is there one that has 3 exits?
I don't know. That's one where there's like the crisscross.
Yeah, and
then the
sometimes I
circle.
get so confused on which ones I've done and which ones I've left.
Yeah.
That and there's one down in Chocolate Island
where it goes around in a circle.
Yeah,
yeah, but the exit's based on the time, how fast you go through.
Right.
Yep.
And so that one gets missed a lot as well.
Yeah. So I actually just played through that last week as well, Curtis. I didn't do all 96. I was going to, and I'm like, I just don't feel like it. So I think I did everything but other than like the extra levels after you finish Star World. Like I didn't actually go up and do like Tubular and any of that.
Also, it really bothers me. Why not just make 100 levels?
Yeah, right.
It does seem short-sighted.
Yeah.
Like you're right there. You were right there.
You should have just put the extra 4 in.
Yeah.
That's and Super Mario World, I think, was almost certainly my first experience with a New Game Plus. After you beat all 96, the entire color palette changes, and the Goombas have the little Mario masks on and everything else. And that game was just amazing, and it still is. It holds up so well.
And I remember looking at the map as a kid because you can like go around the whole thing and thinking, see, there should be a level right here. Like, okay, when you go from the Forest of Illusion to Chocolate Island, there's like a little island off to the right that just, it looks like a level should be right there. And I always thought as a kid, I'm like, I bet there's something right there and we just don't know how to get it.
They just use it as like a connecting piece.
Yeah. But there's stuff like that all over. Four more levels would have been perfect.
Yeah, and not even 4 more levels, just 4 more exits. Right?
Yeah,
like you could take some levels that were already there that just add extra exits.
You could just done another one where you spin in a circle. And
exactly.
It does seem a little off-sided.
Yeah.
So that's an honorable mention. And then my other honorable mention is Link to the Past.
Wow.
Because you cannot talk about Super Nintendo without mentioning, to me, the greatest Zelda game ever. It beats. I loved Breath of the Wild. I think Breath of the Wild is probably my second favorite Zelda game ever. And Link to the Past beats it just a hair. And I think it has more to do with nostalgia and the sound. I think the soundtrack to Link to the Past is probably one of the best soundtracks on the system. People always post those things like you can't hear a song just through a visual, but you throw up that very opening to Link to the Past where the sword comes spinning down and hits the Triforce. It's like da 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 da, and you're I can hear that. I can hear that immediately.
Yeah.
There's nothing to say that hasn't been said by a billion people. Link to the Past is just one of the greatest games ever, and I've probably beat it, I don't know, 20 plus times. It's amazing. But 5 games I will play regardless. No specific order here. Number 5, SimCity on the Super Nintendo.
Wow.
Launch title for the US, early release. The unquestionably the best version, I think, of the original SimCity. It had, Commodore, PC. It's been put on a ton of systems. But when it came to the Super Nintendo, the music and the charm, the replacing Godzilla with Bowser. If you get the Metropolis, you get the Mario statue. If you beat all the scenarios, you get the map where it's all land and there's like the big Mario head made out of the forest. It is a game where if I see it, I will sit down and immediately just put an hour into it. It's just so chill and relax. And I still remember the secret to, you get to like winter and you hold the L button when the tax comes up and you change everything to zeros. Then you go back in, change to hundreds, and it gives you 9 monies across the board so you can just play forever. SimCity is just such a fun, relaxing game. And going back to ActRaiser, that sim, just that little, it's got just enough interest and complexity to be like, this is fun, but not so bad that you get burned on.
Right.
Just SimCity, I think enough people don't appreciate that game for what it is.
That's a shocking number 5. I like SimCity. Don't get me wrong, but to put it at number 5, that's bold. Do you? I don't know enough. Can you use the mouse on SimCity? No. Yeah, because it was too early, right?
Yeah, way too early for the mouse implementation.
Yeah.
But they made it work so well. Just holding the X button, you're able to like slide around the map super duper fast. So it really wasn't as big of an impediment as you would have imagined. There are games that are impeded by that. Populous is an awful port because you have to use the D-pad.
Right.
But yeah, SimCity worked just one, like whatever group ported that onto the Super Nintendo just did such a superb job with it.
I'll be honest, I haven't really given SimCity a fair shake because I lumped that in with the it's originally a PC game. They got ported down and is probably not as good because of that. You know what I mean? I should give that one another shot. That's really interesting. I like that.
I think if you look it up, you'll find that a lot of people agree that the Super Nintendo is actually the best version of that game.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a game I have no experience with. On the Super Nintendo. I remember playing it on the PC at school.
Yeah.
And just never being that into it. And maybe it's a thing like ActRaiser. I should even give it a chance and maybe I'll enjoy it, but I don't even own it at this point, even though I see it all the time.
It hurts. It's such a good game. It really does not get enough love in my opinion. And again, it's subjectives, right?
Right.
This is top 5s, and for me, it's 100%. Just these are games that I'll sit with.
Yeah. I love that was your number 5 because I did not expect that.
Number 4, and this is one that it really isn't as time consuming as like SimCity, is Rock and Roll Racing. Rock and Roll Racing, top down, 4-character sort of Mario Kart-ish racing game. First off, the colors are great. The sprite work is awesome. There's 4 cars racing on the track, isometric view. The soundtrack is one of the best chip-tuned versions of like rock and roll classic music ever. The announcer is great. The 2-player game, my dad would sit and play this with me. It is just such a fun game. And I think, honestly, the best racing game on the Super Nintendo.
Oh, nice.
Some people might try to argue that Mario Kart, but honestly, have you gone back and played the original Mario Kart? It's really rough.
Personally, I'm not a big Mario Kart fan in general. So you don't have to do much convincing to say that it's better than Mario Kart for me.
Yeah. The original Mario Kart does not hold up well.
Yeah.
But Rock and Roll Racing really, really does.
I miss those isometric racing games.
And the game was it was essentially like, I think there was a total of maybe 4 or 8 tracks, and it would mirror them, so you would flip them sometimes or whatever, and the palette would change, so it would get very samey. And there were, I think, like 4 vehicles, and you could buy upgrades for engines and tires and different weapons. But you're driving around the track and you blow someone up in the eyes. Snake lights him up. Rip comes in a weak third. It was just so memorable. And again, I don't have a classic game store in my town. We just don't. We haven't had one for ages. But we do have a pawn shop that has 3 or 4 CRTs set up, and they will rotate games through. And I'll go in there every now and then just to see what's in the shelves. And this is one of those games that if it's on there, there goes my lunch break, because I'll go in there on my lunch from work. And yeah, I'll get in there and just suddenly I'll look down at my watch and be like, oh, I got to leave. I got to get back to the office, you know? Just, it's such a fun game. And it's one that I don't hear people talk about a lot. For Algebra, it exists on the Sega Genesis.
It does, yes. I don't own that one yet, but
it is worth playing. I think the Super Nintendo has the superior soundtrack.
Which makes sense.
Yeah, the Genesis has some issues with the fart noise, depending on who programmed the sound. The Genesis does have an extra song that the Super Nintendo does. It has Radar Gun. Radar Lover.
Yeah, that's cool.
And so it has an extra song on the soundtrack, but it just doesn't sound as good as the Super Nintendo.
Yeah, I do have the Super Nintendo version. And actually, when I was grabbing my 5 off the shelf today, I saw that. I'm like, I should be playing that this month because I haven't spent a lot of time with it. So maybe, we got a couple weeks left of the month. Maybe I'll add that to the list of games I'm trying to beat before the end of the month.
Yeah, I think I'm going to pop that on too.
If you can get a second player, do it. It's so much fun.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's the top bottom split screen, but there's just something, when you get into this game and you're shooting each other, it's great. But when you're shooting another player and really just gunning for the other guy, it's something else.
That's cool.
Definitely worth it. And I don't think it's that expensive, honestly.
I think it's like a 35-40 game.
Yeah, I would guess 35-40.
I mean, again, price charting has it at 60 loose on Super Nintendo. So it might have spiked recently.
The prices are so high anymore.
Yeah, Genesis is a little bit cheaper.
Just brutal.
Right.
All right. Number 3, Kirby Superstar. Kirby Superstar is not as full-fledged as you want it to be as far as a Kirby series. It's got those mini games, but it has a second player mode ish. Like, it doesn't, when you get in the game, it's not, hey, 2-player. But if you suck up someone and then you can poop them back out, and then you get a second player that gets to play with you. The Kirby games are all fun. They're not insanely difficult. They're not crazily complicated. They're just fun platform games. And Superstar, I think, did that so well that you get into it. It's bright, it's colorful, it's cheery. It gave us one of the greatest single pieces of music ever in Gourmet Race. That is, I think, might be one of the most recognizable tunes. And that has, I think, more to do with the fact that they chose that for Kirby and Smash. And
I think you're right, but yeah, it's very recognizable.
Everybody recognizes that.
Yeah.
I could put on a 10-hour loop of that and just listen to it over and over again. But yeah, Kirby Superstar is a shockingly fun game. It wasn't one that I drew to as a kid, but again, if it's sitting in that system, I'll sit down and play it for an hour without question and just get lost in it. It's just simple fun.
Hot take alert.
Go.
Oh boy, here we go.
Not a big fan of Kirby. We talked about this on the NES podcast last year. So I haven't actually spent a lot of time with Kirby Superstar.
but I'm willing to.
I don't think it's going to change your opinion.
I just have a problem with Kirby's controls. Like he's so slow, and like I want to go fast, you know.
Right. The play Sonic.
But Kirby, I love the look of Kirby. I love the music. Like you're 100% correct. I play that song all the time at work. You know, it's on my gamer mix playlist that I've created.
This is the game it came from.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have any experience with Superstar, but I do like the Kirby series. Unlike Curtis, like I had the first game on the Game Boy, which a lot of people forget that the series started on the Game Boy.
Yeah,
I remember.
The NES game is not the original, and so like I had that and I enjoyed it. And since then, I've played a ton. I really like the 3DS games. If people haven't played Planet Robobot, that game's amazing.
The best one.
Yeah, oh, so good. Forgotten Land on the Switch is really good. Yeah, it's a fun series. I should look into Superstar.
Yeah, Robobot is insanely good.
Mm-hmm.
I've not played it.
Play it, Curtis.
That is a must play.
Mm-hmm.
It's very popular. I mean, whenever we get it in, it sells within like a day.
Yeah. When people do, on occasion, say, which Robobot, hands down, best Kirby game.
Wow.
If this wasn't Super Nintendo, I would say Robobot. Like,
sure,
so good.
I'm a big fan of like the spin-off Kirby games, like Dream Course, and like talk about the Game Boy ones.
Yeah.
The pinball one and the block ball.
Yep.
I love
block ball.
Yeah, it's fun.
That one's so fun, and I wish that's one I wish would have had a Super Nintendo version because I love the controls on that the up and down do the one axis, like the Y axis or whatever, and then the left and right do the X. That's so good. Yeah.
Kirby's got some great games. They're out there. That very first one on the Game Boy, good game, real short.
Yeah, super easy. But there is the second mode. If once you beat it the first time, you go back through the game, it's a little bit more challenging.
Yeah, good game. Just Superstar. It's another great one. I think
totally.
Was that my 3?
That was number 3.
That was 3. Number 3. Number 4. I'm gonna go Harvest Moon.
Ooh.
Natsume, serious fun. So, or depending on your point of view, seriously boring. So, Harvest Moon it's weird. It's a divisive game in that if you're not into spending an exorbitant amount of time doing busy work, it's not going to be enjoyable for you, because the game does feel like a lot of busy work. You're planting crops, you're harvesting crops, you're feeding cows, you're milking cows, you're going to town to try to, romance one of the options there. Then nighttime comes around, then you're kind of out of to do, and you have to wait until the next day to go to sleep. Good soundtrack. I just found myself lost in this game for so long, without even realizing that the time had passed. Just 2 or 3 hours the first time I played it. And I looked at my clock and I was like, holy crap, like I've really spent this much time playing this game. It's got a lot more depth in it as far as like upgrades and going underground and upgrading your tools through the gnomes. And then there's going up into the forest for the fishing. Surprisingly good. And I think part of what you can, some people are like, it's not that interesting, but like Stardew Valley exists for a reason. Like that guy made that game because he loved the Harvest Moon series. So, you take it for what it is. Now, is it overpriced? 110%. This is the most expensive video game I own. And I picked it up, I thought, for a very good price at like $270. So
for right now, that's a great price.
Yeah, it was a great price when I bought it. and it's gone up and down. I think the highest I've seen is rolling around 400.
Wow.
I don't know what it is right now.
It's crazy.
Low 300s would be my guess.
Yeah, it says about 330 on price starting.
I think that's where it's been for a couple of years now. It's not a game for everybody. without a question. But if you're into the farming type sims like Stardew Valley, chances are you'd like the original Harvest Moon.
Well, one thing is certainly becoming apparent. You love your sim games.
To an extent, yes.
I mean, two of your top 5 are Sims.
It depends. So the original SimCity I love, but every SimCity after that added too much.
Yeah.
And Harvest Moon, like I can respect Stardew Valley, but it added too much.
Yeah.
Like I'm down with the Sims, but they have to be kept at a low, simple level, or it just gets too much minutia for me. It's is what it is.
Well, clearly, I mean, Harvest Moon is a popular series because they have made a ton of games.
They have.
I have no experience with the Super Nintendo version, but I do want to bring up the Wii version, Tree of Tranquility, because in college, I was an RA for a year, and one of the fellow RAs really wanted Tree of Tranquility on the Wii, and I had never even heard of a Harvest Moon. I had no idea what it was about. So he bought it online, gets it delivered, starts playing, and I'm watching him, and I'm making fun of him. I'm like, you're planting crops, you're harvesting crops, you're going fishing. Like, this is the most boring video game in the history of the world. What are you doing? And I watched him enough where finally, like, because like he would just leave his door open and he's like, yeah, come in and play it. And so one time I did go in and I started my own save slot and I got addicted to the game. And I'm like, okay, I get it. This is kind of fun.
Yep. That's how it happens. Yeah. You sit down and you're like, this doesn't look that interesting.
Yep.
And then you play it for about half an hour and you're like, well, if I sleep one more day, I can do this before I quit. And then 2 hours later, you go, son of a, what happened?
And Harvest Moon has a bit of a controversy because the original team split off. Like there's two franchises now, because the original team went off and started Story of Seasons. And then Natsume still makes like the Harvest Moon really in name.
Yeah, in name. It's so vastly different than what the originals were.
Yeah. But like, it's so funny because at the store, people will, there's the constant, like, what do you prefer, Story of Seasons or Harvest Moon, which is funny. Harvest Moon is a game that I remember when I was in high school in the computer lab, we put emulators on all the computers, and the two games we would always play is Super Mario RPG and Harvest Moon. Because there were these like long games that you could kind of like jump in and do, 30 minutes and then like leave it for the next day. But yeah, those are the two games I remember playing the most in the computer lab, which is funny too. Cause like I grew up in Northwest Wisconsin. Like we grew up in farm country,
right?
And yet what did we want to do? Go into the computer lab and farm.
Hey, you know what you know.
Right. It's better than, it's easier work than actually farming. So yeah.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, fun is fun.
Yep.
It's subjective, but
it's good.
Well, look at all the sim games that have become popular these days. I mean, there's Power Wash Simulator, there's Lawn Mowing Simulator, which I never thought those games would be fun, but then I bought them and my life I was sucked into them. That's all I did was play those games. And all of a sudden it's like 5 hours later, I'm like, oh shit, I should probably do something other than fake power wash something.
And even Farming Simulator.
Yep.
Yeah, there's a reason I avoid those games. I've never played them, and like you said, the first time I looked at it, I was like, really, this is a thing? And I was like, you know what? I bet that is a thing, and I bet that's a thing I should never touch. Like, I know myself. Let's not.
There's just something. It's just immediately cathartic.
Yep.
Washing away the stuff, and seeing that dirt. I don't know. It's just it just scratches an itch inside you.
Yeah, for sure.
All right.
Last game. Algebra took it from me. It was going to be ActRaiser.
Nice.
I'm going to skip ActRaiser because you took it from me. And everyone absolutely should play ActRaiser.
100%.
So I tried to think of something a little different that is probably not something everyone's played. And you get two choices here. The game I'm choosing is Hook.
Yes.
1991, based off of the movie with Robin Williams, Hook. Or you get the alternative, a game, Sky Blazer. Now these are, I think Skyblazer came out in like 94. So there's a 3-year difference here, but it is an action platformer. So Hook is the one that I first played and liked more. Like I loved that movie when I was a little kid. Not a real shock there. I show it to my kids. Every kid loves that movie. It's just very child friendly. And Hook, you are Peter Pan. You're running through, but there's swordplay. There's jumping. Tinkerbell charged you up. You can fly through the levels. You know, you do your somersaults. Very colorful. Excellent sprite work. Good soundtrack. Long game too, actually. And there's an overworld map moving through the different areas. Skyblazer uses the same engine system, everything, like different visuals, obviously different sprites. But the second I turned Skyblazer on, when I got to that game, I was like, "Holy, I've played this already." You know, like it is like the second you play, you're like, "Oh, this is very familiar." There's a reason for that. It's the same people, same people, same game almost. But both games, I think, are very, very underrated. I never hear anyone talk about either of them, honestly. And I think that they do deserve to be talked about. I don't see them ever outside of, you know, a convention. You'll find them, but like I've never seen either one of them show up in any of the pawn shops or flea markets I've ever been to. So, but it is a game I would absolutely sit down and play if it was there. I'd be like, oh, both of these games are really, really good and deserve to be played and deserve to be talked about by more people.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think I see Hook show up on a few like hidden gems lists. I know. I haven't spent a lot of time with either game. I'm with you though. Love Hook. That was a big part of my childhood, and I do. That's always on my like to-do list, is to play that game. And Skyblazer too. I actually started Skyblazer, and then for whatever reason just got kind of sidetracked and never got back to it. But it's super similar. Yeah.
Well, they're slow. You might not like.
Yes.
Yeah, they do. The movement is very slow. But the games
but in a satisfying way.
Yeah, the games are very good.
Yeah. Skyblazer, I have no experience with. I know it's like around $100 just for a loose cart, so I haven't grabbed it yet. But yeah, I love Hook. Hook is one of my favorite movies from my childhood. So good. And so I've got the Genesis version, I've got the Super Nintendo version, and they're the same game. And then I've got the NES and Game Boy games, where those are different games, but they're the same as each other.
I've never seen the Genesis one.
Yep, it's I think. Genesis is the exact same as the Super Nintendo.
Okay.
Probably moves a little bit faster. Because I think typically that's kind of what I noticed between the two consoles. The
blast processing.
Super Nintendo will sound better typically. Although some people who knew how to use the Genesis sound chip made some very good music.
Agreed.
But it plays a little bit faster on the Genesis. Yeah, it's such a good game. That was a great choice.
Yeah, it is a really, really good game. And if you ever want something very different, go find the arcade game. The arcade game is a 4-player beat 'em up.
Oh, that's cool.
And it's really, really good.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah,
nice.
Hook. There you go.
Awesome. Well, there you go. Got a little surprise for you coming up right after this message.
今日からあなた市長です。
僕が市長？
市長になって街を作ろう。次々起こる問題を君はどう解決する？新しい都市づくりシミュレーションゲームシムシティ新発売。
学校の宿題ぐらいやっといてくれたまえ。僕は忙しいんだから。
Super Famicom Sin City.
And we're back. Okay, I said I got a little surprise for you. So I like to have a panel of 4, right? Because it looks nice on the screen. But one of our panelists had to drop out at the last minute. So we were deprived of a top 5. But luckily, I had a top 5 waiting in the wings just in case something like this would happen. And I'm actually really excited about this. I haven't told you guys what it was at all. So at the store that I work at, World 8 in Little Tokyo in downtown LA, one of the things we specialize in is import games.
Oh, nice.
And I do the ordering from Japan, and one of my favorite things to do is find English-friendly Super Famicom games. Well, I mean, English-friendly games on any system, but specifically Super Famicom because that's my jam. So my top 5 is going to be the top 5 English-friendly Super Famicom games that you should play. And honestly, there's a lot more. I just kind of picked these because these were the ones that were, jumping out at me at the moment. And I tried to get a little variety in there, but there's so many games, honestly. But let's start here. And I actually have these to show you. So number 5, I guess we'll go 5 to 1. Doesn't really matter which order you do these in. Number 5, Super Back to the Future 2, which blows my mind that we never got this game in America because it just it feels like we should have. It's a fun little platformer. I'm not going to say it's the greatest game ever, but if you're a fan of Back to the Future like I am, that's like my favorite movie of all time. This game is amazing. It's super colorful, fun sprites. Again, kind of that chibi giant head, similar to Addams Family sort of thing. And great soundtrack. You're getting like the chiptune version of the Back to the Future soundtrack. So much better than the NES Power of Love.
Whoa. Those are fighting words, Curtis.
This one you really get, what like an accurate representation of the theme, which is really cool. And it follows the movie of the second one. And honestly, it's the best Back to the Future game that exists. Aside from maybe if you count the newer Back to the Future, the game, which is
the Telltale game.
Yeah, that's like a point and click type game. But of that era when it was like, new, when they were coming out in theaters and stuff, this is really like the best one. Although I will say I love the NES game. Have you guys played Super Back to the Future 2?
Just briefly, somebody sent me a repro of it for the Super Nintendo a couple years ago, and I'm actually, it's on my list of games to play this month, but I wanted to stream it, and I've been too busy to do a ton of streams this month, so I'm hoping to get to it this month, but if not this month, then very soon, but because I've heard great things about it.
Yeah.
I know nothing about the import scene.
Oh,
so
good.
No, I've never played it. The only import game I know of that I've played is Parodius. The Parodius
which
series.
is great.
Nice.
I almost picked a Parodius game, but I didn't.
I'll have to look this one up because I do love the Back to the Future movies.
Yeah. All right. Number 4. So I'm a huge fan of Dragon Ball Z. And we didn't really start getting those games until the PlayStation era. But of course, Dragon Ball has been around since the 80s. So they had games on the Famicom, Super Famicom. There's a ton. And one of the best ones, this is to me the best one on the Super Famicom, is Dragon Ball Z Hyper Dimension. So it's a fighting game, very similar to Street Fighter, but it's got the best sprite work and the best fighting. A lot of the Dragon Ball Z games, I think, suffer because they try and incorporate the flying aspect of the show, and you get like, you'll do like a split screen, you'll be really far away. It's hard to kind of manage the geography of where you are in relation to the other character. This game strips it all away. It keeps you right on the same screen, just like Street Fighter. You go back and forth, super fun. I love the story mode, and it's just all around, it's the most well-rounded fighting game for Dragon Ball Z on the Super Famicom. Thoughts, questions, concerns?
I know nothing about Dragon Ball Z.
Yep. Nope. I'm not a Dragon Ball guy.
No worries. Well, it's a great fighting game. If you get into fighting games, I'm not a huge fighting game guy, but this one I wanted to give a shout out to this one just because I'm a big Dragon Ball fan.
Right on.
All right. Okay. This next one is actually a whole series, and honestly, like all of them are great. This is just the one that I'm going to show. Is this one my favorite? This one's probably my favorite one. This is the Great Battle series, and this is Great Battle 4. This one is cool. It takes a lot of it's very Gundam, mech, Japanesey, which I don't really care about that. That's not really my scene, but the gameplay is great. And each game is kind of like different gameplay styles. So 4 is the platformer one, really fun. The first one is kind of like top down. The 5th one incorporates stuff like the gallery shooter, kind of like Wild Guns. They're all really fun though. The whole Great Battle series, really fun, English friendly. Check it out. You guys ever played any of them?
Never heard of them.
No, but they'll sound very interesting. It's definitely something I'd be willing to look into.
Yeah, they're a lot of fun, and English friendly, which that's what it's all about.
Makes a big difference.
Yeah.
All right. Number 2 is going to be a shoot 'em up. I had to do a shoot 'em up because there's so many great shoot 'em ups that we never got here. And the Super Nintendo isn't really known for like having a lot of great shoot 'em ups. There's a lot of like slow down and a lot of, there's just not a lot of great shoot 'em ups on the Super Nintendo as compared to like the Genesis, let's say, or like the TurboGrafx of the time. But this one's actually really good. I love it. And you should check it out. It's called Acrobat Mission. This is going to be your vertical shoot 'em up style. I prefer, it's like there's 2 camps. They're either like vertical or horizontal. I tend to be in the vertical camp. I remember playing a lot of like arcade games like Raiden and what else in the arcades, and I prefer that shoot 'em up style. And my favorite Super Nintendo shoot 'em up is going to be Space Megaforce, and this is similar in that vein. So if you're into that, that's the one you should check out.
That's awesome. I do like shooters. I just don't play them as much as I'd want to.
Do you guys have a favorite shoot 'em up on the Super?
Strike Gunner, STG.
Really?
I just played that at the game store a couple weeks ago. That was pretty fun.
It is. It's, if I memory serves, vertical, 2 players.
Yeah.
And it didn't really suffer from terribly much slowdown. Now, did it do anything hella impressive? No. I think Space Megaforce looks like they put a ton of effort into making that game look amazing. But Strike Gunner is just a solid, standard, reliable shoot 'em up for me.
I also find when it comes to shoot 'em ups on the Super Nintendo, the vertical ones tend to have less slowdown than the horizontal ones. The horizontal ones are the ones that really suffer. Your Super R-Types, Gradius 3.
Yeah.
Those are the ones that are just get brutal with the slowdown. Yeah. All right. And number 1, this is one that I feel like really flies under the radar and is super fun to check out, especially if you're a fan of games like Contra. And that is Edo no Kiba. I think I said that right. This one is so cool. It's Contra-esque, but you're constantly like, you're in this like robot suit and you're constantly moving, you're constantly running, and you're fighting and shooting, and it's kind of chaos, but it's really fun. And I don't know, this one just I'm really drawn to. It's just very Contra-esque.
Oh, sounds like I'd love it then.
Yeah. I don't know anything about the import scene, honestly. So it's super interesting. I've got all these written down.
And I didn't either. I could go on and on. There's so many. I'm telling you. I literally looked up every single Super Famicom game that we didn't get, and I painstakingly went through every one to find which ones were the English friendly games.
Nice.
And like, for instance, Snes Drunk on YouTube has a lot of great Super Nintendo English friendly compilations. But even some of these, he doesn't know them all. I mean, well, he hasn't gotten to them yet.
Right.
Yeah.
There's so many. Many.
Have you played Rendering Ranger?
I know
like
of
a run
I've
and gun.
never played it.
Yeah.
That's like a $800 game on
Yeah.
Super Famicom.
So that's another one. When my buddy sent me Super Back to the Future, he also sent me a repro of Rendering Ranger.
Yeah.
So that's another on my list that I want to get to. But that's kind of like a similar Contra style run and gun. So I don't think English, you don't have to worry about it being in another language.
Totally English friendly. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, and I mean, I guess this isn't necessarily hold true, but I think aren't generally a lot of the imports not that expensive anymore?
Well,
I mean, I'm sure the ones that are highly regarded are, but like,
it used to be like that,
but
Yeah.
they're on to us now. Take it from me. I order from Japan every 2 months, and it used to be you could get these things for a steal. Now the price has just been creeping back up. They know that what we're doing. So yeah, it's not as great as it used to be, unfortunately.
And aren't the Sailor Moon games supposed to be pretty good?
Yes.
Famicom. We didn't get any over here, did we?
No. They're all most of them are beat 'em ups.
Yeah, but aren't there like fighting games too? Like, aren't there a couple different genres?
There's beat 'em ups, fighting, and puzzle, like similar to Columns,
that's right.
honestly, or like Puyo Puyo, I think.
Yeah, a lot of Puyo Puyo clonage.
Yeah. But yeah, the Sailor Moon games are great. I actually have a few of them as well, and I'm not like a huge Sailor Moon fan, but they're great. Gundam Wing Endless Duel, another fighting game that's like super fun. I know nothing about Gundam Wing, but that's a great game. There's a Godzilla game, Godzilla Kaiju Daikessen, which is literally Street Fighter 2 swapped out with Godzilla sprites.
Oh, okay.
And really fun. I'm not a huge I like Godzilla. I'm not a huge like Godzilla nut. I don't know a lot about Godzilla, but that is like 1-for-1. It's Street Fighter 2 with Godzilla characters.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah.
There is one game I played that's import. It's a Gundam fighting game. I don't remember.
That's Gundam Wing Endless.
Is it?
Probably.
So
that's the big famous one.
I played my son and I played a Mighty Morphin Power Rangers one where you're fighting as the robots. And
that's the fighting edition.
Yes. Yep.
One that came out in America as well.
Yeah, Power Rangers is the movie fighting edition. Yeah.
But someone in my stream was like, "Oh, if you really like that, they're like, play this Gundam one. It's the same engine." And so we did look that one up. We're like, "Oh, this is really fun."
Yeah. Great. There's so many great Super Famicom games. So if you are a big SNES head and you're looking to scratch your itch, scratch that Super Nintendo itch with some games you might have not played, tons on the Super Famicom. Tons. So that's like tip of the iceberg what I showed.
Yeah. And I don't remember, like, I know you can like file down the tabs on your Super Nintendo to play it. Yeah. Can you also use a Game Genie to play Super Famicom games on the Super Nintendo?
That's a good question. I think you might be able to. They also make an adapter you can get if you don't want to go through all the work of shaving it down. There's tons of adapters out on Amazon and stuff. They're like $15. I think the easiest one to get right now is from a company called My Arcade, and I believe it's $15 on Amazon.
It's not hard to get in there and just click them nubbies out.
Yeah, no.
The weakest region lock ever on that one.
Right.
Absolutely. Yeah. So there you go. You got even more than you bargained for. We each did a top 5. I did a bonus top 5. We had a bonus top 5 soundtracks really quick. And then we even had some honorable mentions. So I don't think we could even talk about any more Super Nintendo games. I'm pretty sure we mentioned every single one that came out on the Super Nintendo.
Yeah. I did have a quick question before we end this.
By all means.
That's all right. Have you guys been playing any Super Nintendo games this month? Like, I've tried to, I made a list of honestly, it was 30 to 40 Super Nintendo games, and I wasn't going to get to them all. But I played a few ones that I haven't beaten before, and then I've also obviously went through some of my favorites just to do. But I was curious if you guys have played anything. I know obviously, Joe, you stream your Super Nintendo games, but were there any that maybe you wanted to get to that you haven't gotten to that you just decided to play this month?
I wanted to get to that I haven't. No. Most recent one that highlights for me, I think, was College Slam.
Oh yeah, that's like NBA Jam, right?
Just it is the NBA Jam engine. Same guy doing the announcing. It's just college teams. But the big deal about it was it has extra power-up modes, I guess.
Okay.
So there's options to turn on these random power-ups that show up on the court, and when you grab them, you're better at three-pointers, or a lightning bolt will explode the hoop so the other guys can't score.
That's awesome.
Or you'll get super-duper steroid speed, and your guy runs so fast across the screen you don't even know where the hell he's at. NBA Jam was already arcadey,
right?
And this just took arcadey and sent it to 11, but a lot of fun.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, I was kind of playing this month stuff to brush up for the list,
I replayed Addams Family. I replayed Plock.
We all make mistakes.
Yeah. Lamborghini, American Challenge, and Super Mario World. Those were pretty much the ones I played. Although somebody at the store just donated actually some of those like multi-game carts, which there's like 150 games on it.
Yeah.
And so I've been kind of like digging around on those, and every once in a while I'll pop one in and like see if actually I was going to use that to play that rock and roll racing we were talking about. I was like, I know that's on there.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I think you should use this month to retry Untouchables because that's a good game.
Oh, no. That, it's a little ironic because that game is going to go untouched the rest of my life.
Man, you're missing out. It's so much fun. I love that
disagree.
One.
Yeah,
heartily.
I enjoyed it.
I'm on Curtis's side here.
Oh, man, you just need to give it another chance. I'm telling you, it's fun. I played Super Mario World, Donkey Kong Country, and Turtles in Time. Those are the ones that I've beaten before. I just wanted to replay again. But the ones that I hadn't beaten before is I started with Mario is Missing because I always wanted to try that game. Like, I know it wasn't supposed to be the best, but honestly, like, I had fun with it. I think if you're into history, it's a really cool way to learn about different things.
Sorry, my kids.
Yeah, I saw it. Yeah.
See the little hand there.
Yeah. And it obviously must be different every time you play it because there's so many different cities you can go to. So, like, I thought that was entertaining. Like, it's not the greatest game, but
I liked that game as a kid.
Yeah, it was worth playing, I think.
I remember, speaking of Mario's is Missing and Mario's Time Machine, because they use the same sprites as Super Mario World. And Super Mario World is absolutely one of my favorite games as a kid. I remember renting those, and you look at the covers and you're like, this is awesome.
Yeah.
Like especially Mario's Time Machine. I'm like, oh my gosh, like Turtles in Time. You're thinking Mario meets Turtles in Time. This is going to be the greatest game I've ever played.
Not so much.
I remember renting those and I was like, what the hell is this?
Yeah.
What the hell is this?
Mm-hmm.
And I was being so disappointed. That being said, when I actually sat down and played them, they're actually like kind of charming and fun.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
When I know what I'm getting into, you know.
Yeah.
Not bad. I like the way they do it, and I love learning new stuff, and like playing little like trivia type games.
That was fun. Then the next one I played was Math Blaster Episode 1 because obviously as a math teacher, I was like, I should probably play through this at some point. And it is not challenging at all. It does have 12 different difficulty modes, which is nice. Like 1 through 3 is, I think, addition. 4 through 6 is subtraction. And then 7 through 9 is multiplication. And then 10 through 12 is division. And so I just put it automatically on 12. I'm like, I'm a math teacher. I think I can handle whatever division you throw at me. And it was not that difficult. And honestly, if you got stuck, you can pause the game and like figure out the math. And then go ahead and, do it. Because, like, I mean, obviously, like, I did it all in my head. I wasn't going to cheat and use a calculator. But some were like, okay, I got to think about this for a second. But, like, there's 3 different stages you play. And, like, the first one, you have to, like, blow up the space junk with the correct answer. But there's UFOs that are coming in to attack you. So it's like, you have to be careful of that. I think what held it back for me is the second stage is almost like a platforming stage where, like, it'll give you a math problem. And you have to go in between the platforms that are like in between 2 answers, and so like the control is not great. So I lost a life there because sometimes I would accidentally run into a barrier and that would lose health. And then sometimes you fall down too far, and like even though you've already passed that section, you've changed your number, and so now it doesn't get you past that barrier anymore, and so you'll get shocked, and it was super frustrating. And then the last one's really easy. But yeah, I mean, as a math guy, I thought it was fun. And I remember playing Math Blaster on the PC in school. So that was a blast from the past.
That's funny.
Yeah.
That's one of those games, too, that like was bold enough to put like Volume 1 on it.
Yeah.
And then it never got a sequel.
Right. I know. I was really hoping for episode 2. I would play it.
Or
but
episode, that episode 1.
Yeah, we never got that.
The era of edutainment.
Yep. And then the last one I played, which was actually just a day or 2 ago, I went through Street Fighter 2. I am not a fighting game fan. I am terrible at fighting games. I used to think I was good because as a kid, I'd put on easy and just blow through the game. And then I realized that you don't really get endings when you play it on that mode.
Yeah.
And so I was like, okay, I need to play in default settings, which I think is like 3. I think that's the number because Street Fighter does numbers. So I think default is 3 and you actually get an ending. And so I played through and it only took like 45 minutes. But oh man, Vega destroyed me for at least 20 minutes of that. In fact, M. Bison took me less time than Vega, but M. Bison is super cheap. There was a couple of rounds where he just got me in the corner and just kept attacking. I had no chance to fight back.
That was the era of, if not the cheap spam move, then the absolute button read.
Yeah.
Like it knew exactly what you were going to do.
Exactly.
And you had no hope.
Yeah. So I do think Super Street Fighter 2 is better than the first Street Fighter 2, but I've heard Turbo's the best, which I've got that on my list. Maybe I'll play through that this month and get another beat on the list. But yeah, those were the games that I've played this month, and obviously we have still a half month to go. So looking forward to getting some more done.
Yeah, I played Sink or Swim the other night, which is very Lemmings-ish. You're a little guy trying to help these people off of this boat that's sinking, and you got to get a certain number of them to the hatch to get them out. But it was real close to being a good game and was held back just by a couple little bits. So, I mean, Lemmings came out ages before this, but you come into the game and immediately everything starts moving. There's no chance to check it. You can't pause and scroll around to like plan what you're going to do. It just starts and you have to run and figure it out as it goes. And the guys just start dying. Yeah. And unlike Lemmings, where you get 50 lemmings and you have to save 20 of them, you get 5 guys and you have to save 4. You know, so very little room for error and very little time to figure out what the hell is going on.
Yeah, this is brutal.
And then unlike Lemmings, you don't just restart the level. You have a number of lives. And when you lose your lives, game over. Start from level 1 again. And you're just like,
stupid.
You're like, come on.
That should be an unlimited continue game.
Right. Yes, it absolutely should have been.
If you like a game like SOS or whatever, my favorite, and I believe, in my opinion, the best Simpsons game on the Super Nintendo is Krusty's Super Fun House.
Oh, yeah.
It's very much in that Lemmings thing, but it's such a... Have you played that? Yeah. That was a lot of fun. But let me just check my list, make sure we talked about every single Super Nintendo game. Yep.
We got a few more we can get.
I think we got them all. Oh, yeah, you're right. We didn't talk about Sterling Sharp End to End. Just make sure we mention that.
Vertical football game. I played that.
Awesome. Well, I think this is where we're going to wrap it up because this is going to take me like an eon to edit and find all this footage.
Right.
But I really want to thank you guys for coming on. I honestly think I picked like the best 2 guys to do this show. This was so much fun. You guys are so knowledgeable about the Super Nintendo, and thank you.
Yeah, it was a blast. Thanks, man. This was a really fun conversation.
Yeah, absolutely. Super fun just talking about everything from the Super Nintendo, like childhood, man. It was childhood.
Yep.
Absolutely. What next year will bring? Who knows? Still working it out.
Sounds like Sega Genesis.
Yeah, let's do Sega Genesis.
I was thinking Sega Genesis.
Nice. All right, make it 3. I got to be on the podcast though, so I'm going for the complete collection. I need to make it 3 years in a row on this.
The hat trick. There you go. Well, we'll find out. Until then, join us on the Discord. Talk about what you've been playing. Talk about what we missed. Anything and everything. Remember, if you're going to use other socials, get that hashtag Cartridge Club, or we're bringing it back, hashtag CC Unite. Until then, I'm going to leave it there. I am Curtis Freisel. Thank you so much for watching, listening, however you got around to this podcast. And until next time, we will see you then. I didn't have a good way to end that.
You could have ended it with CC Unite.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one. Of course, that's what I always used to do. All right. Until next time, CC Unite. Take care.
Giving beats everything, and nobody beats the whiz.
If you've got a kid on your Christmas list, give them what they want. A new Game Boy from Nintendo. It's just $89. And what kid wouldn't love to find a new Super NES under their tree? 16-bit 3D graphics, true digital sound, and Super Mario World. Just $199. For Christmas, as always, Nobody beats the whiz.